Hello, welcome to the Flexera One home screen. In this video, you learn how to get information about your cloud commitments. These are reserved instances and saving plans. We'll walk you through the steps to review your AWS and Azure commitment inventory and also to gather information about consumption of these commitments. Before we start, it is expected that configuration from the documentation link here has been completed and enabled. This is essential to ensure that the data does appear within your commitments. By the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to work with commitments through Flexera One Cloud Cost Optimization. Viewing your inventory of commitments is one of the most essential aspects. A lot of commitments are purchased centrally, but we also know there are commitments which can be purchased within linked accounts or other subscriptions which you need to keep on top of. In order to view your commitments, please navigate to the cloud link here, and within the cloud link, you have the commitments section, which provides you the screen for the reserved instances and saving plans. We'll click on the reserved instance screen first. You'll see here that you have a screen with the tab for AWS and Azure, and you have a number of columns that are available. In addition to these columns, which are very important, including the utilization and the event date about your reservation, we also have more columns which you can enable through the button here and by clicking some of the links. These are optional and you don't have to enable them. We have a similar layout within the Azure space for reserved instances, and similarly within commitments. For saving plans, we also have a very similar screen. As you'll see, all of them have a number of standardized columns visible to you when you land onto the screen, and you can enable many more fields through this button here and by ticking any of the boxes. To merge the business context with the cloud consumption and commitment data, you would navigate to the tabular view. The tabular view is available from here. You would navigate to cloud and go to tabular view. Within the tabular view, I've selected cloud vendor as the first dimension and commitment name as the second dimension. In the filter section, I have removed all of the cloud costs which are not related to commitments, so pretty much on demand and spot, so that for the purposes of this exercise, we can look at purely commitment based data. If I navigate into the table view section, I've created group bys by commitment name, which is the commitment name within AWS or Azure. I've included a second group by, which is the billing center level 1, which is a business context that you would define within Flexera. If I navigate to the lower part of the screen, I am able to look at each of the commitments. For example, this AWS lease ID here. I know that the billing center that is consuming resources from this lease ID is the sales billing center. There's some unallocated use. We also know the engineering billing center is using some of the resources from the commitment and professional services. So this gives me a very quick view to understand which billing center or which business context is looking at consuming which resources from a particular reservation that I'm looking into. I've then also added additional group by, so I've got service and environment. So service includes this third level over here. In this case, it's mainly EC2 consumption. And also I know the environment, which is a tag. And I know from the tag that some of the use is for a dev environment, some of it is for a UAT environment. Whereas within the engineering department here, the consumption is from development, production, and UAT. I can remove some of the group buys if I want to roll up. And this is automatically available for pretty much every reservation or saving plan which is available to the Flexera CCO product. So this way you know how to query about usage, about consumption from tabular view. So the commitments name and commitments ID dimension, these are extremely useful to help you analyze or answer queries about your specific commitments. Regularly occurring queries can be wrapped up into dashboards. Dashboards are available within Dashboard and Cloud. The Flexera FinOps product has the FinOps reservation coverage dashboard and the FinOps reservation management dashboard. So we've landed here at the FinOps reservation management dashboard, which gives you a very good set of information and pre-created widgets to work through and understand the commitment analysis for this period of time. Also AWS and Azure unused commitments and plenty of other widgets to help you analyze the information. In addition to the reservation management dashboard, we've also got the reservation coverage dashboard that provides extremely good information again, but it's targeted to a different set of audience or a different objective, and it provides information about coverage and the savings that have been achieved through commitments, shows the discountable versus non-discountable. Both of these dashboards provide a very good starting point because each of your stakeholders might have different questions to ask you, or you may need to report differently. But both of these dashboards provide a great starting point to modify and help you create your own dashboards to answer queries or for your internal reporting. Now that you understand the Flexera CCO commitments capability, you can go ahead to either build processes to leverage this or work directly on commitments within the CCO product.